Hey, good evening, everyone. Is everybody out there doing well tonight? And can everybody hear me? Give me a number one if you can hear me.
If you watch only one video on prepping, you want it to be the
Can everybody out there hear me? All right. Let's just checking the audio here, making sure it was coming through on my phone. All right. Well, it looks like we got a pretty good crew in here tonight. And we got some exciting things going on. We got a winner tonight. We just hit 50,000 subscribers today. Thank you all very much. I really, really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. Um, I'm hoping that the channel keeps going the way it's going, and things are looking up. There's a lot of stuff that's in the works for this channel right now, and we're a lot of work involved, and I only have 2 days to do it on the weekends. And I have reached out to someone, and they are giving me a hand in running all the social media stuff and doing a lot of different things. Going to be working on merchandise coming up soon, so that'll be rolling in. I'm going to get some shirts made, coffee cups, all that kind of stuff. You guys can go on there and order whatever you'd like and everything else. Today's video is a very important video because of what is taking place right now. Um, there's just so much stuff that's going on right now, uh, starting with like Mylar bags and all that kind of stuff. This is just getting a little out of hand here, folks. And these people are just trying to take away all of our rights. They're trying to take away everything that we need to be prepped and ready. You see, I think that they're finally starting to figure out if they want to take total control over everybody here, they're going to have to really sit back and really crunch down on a lot of the different products, and they got to come up with some BS excuse to do it. And this is the issue that I have. They're with the whole Amazon with the Mylar bags. All right, folks. Their reasoning is because they're saying that it's used for drugs. All right. All right. So all these quote drug dealers are all packaging up everything in these Mylar bags and evidently shipping them throughout the country and the world and wherever else. Now, the first question I have to ask is, and that I'd like for you guys to all answer, is when was the last time that you saw in a news feed on the internet, on the TV, or anything else when there was a major, massive drug bust? Was it in Mylar bags? I've never seen one. Now, maybe they may use those little clear bags. All right. Yes, they do use those, but those aren't Mylar bags. So what they're saying is because it conceals the smell. All right. Well, in a lot of states now, um, marijuana is becoming more legal as we speak. And, different states and everything else, they're all starting to regulate marijuana, which is probably the one drug that if the government was smart, they would just legalize it legally in this whole country as a government standpoint. Because you see, the government likes money, right? Okay. So if they would to do that, they could turn around and put a tax on that, just like a lot of these other states have done. And they have brought in billions of dollars in revenue. So the government is missing out. You see, I mean, once they really wake up and figure out that, you know what, if we was to tax that, we probably could really make a lot of money and we could have more control over the people. But there's other things that have been taking place. Have you guys seen how it's going back and forth all of a sudden now with between the big oil companies and Washington D.C. because of what is taking place as far as the whole gas price situation? All right. Washington, D.C. is saying, well, you got to blame the gas companies. And the gas companies are saying you got to blame Washington, D.C. See, the problem is what happens is as soon as the oil price goes up, it could go up 50 cents and they raise the price of oil 10 cents a gallon. But if it goes down $5, well, it doesn't go down that much. Few pennies on a dollar every few days to make everybody feel like, oh, everything's okay. You see, this is where the smoke and mirrors comes in, folks, because they want to just keep doing this so that, for one, it makes it look like the prices are coming down, everybody feels good inside and everything else, oh, maybe it's not that bad and anything else. In a lot of places, gas is still over $4 or $5 a gallon. Here in Florida, we've dropped below $4. A lot of places it's anywhere from, I paid 383 yesterday on the way home from work. So I mean, it just depends on where you're at in the state here. The closer you get over towards the Mouse House over there in Central Florida, the gas prices are right around $4, you know, give or take. But there are a lot of people that have been reporting that gas prices are still quite high and everything else. And we're still on the whole oil thing with Biden there going over to Saudi Arabia and meeting with the prince there and basically turn around and trying to beg for oil. Why we're doing that, I have no idea. We can produce all we want here, but for some reason, once again, the government seems to want to make sure that, well, we can't make it ourselves here and drill because then it'd be like, well, that goes against the Green New Deal and climate change and all this other BS that they have out there. But it's okay for us to buy the oil and stuff from other countries, even though it's dirtier oil than what we produce here. Ours is 10 times cleaner than what comes from those countries, and we have to import it from those countries over to here when we could just make it here, drill it here, and just transport it throughout the country here. One would think that would make sense. Once again, with the government, well, with a lot of between government and corporations, okay? If it makes sense, it ain't going to happen. If it doesn't make sense, they're going to hire somebody and pay them about $100,000 a year or more to run it, to try to make it make sense. Get what I'm saying? Now, these people, what they're looking really to do is they really want to crack down on everything that we're going to have and use in order to put up food, in order to survive. All right. Now, what's next? They started with the Mylar bags. Are they going to go after vacuum seal bags next? Are they going to go after your vacuum sealer? Are they going to be going after your canning jars? I'm just saying, folks, it always starts somewhere and then it's going to ripple down through. These people are out of control. They want to just keep taking away our rights and everything else. And for what? This is the thing. For what? You know, I mean, there has to be an agenda behind all the nonsense BS that they keep pushing on a weekly basis. These people do not understand what is taking place. And most of the people in this country are like horses with blinders on. All right. They believe everything they see, everything they read, everything they hear, and everything else that the government's going to be there. They're going to take care of you. Don't you worry. You know what, folks? Everything's going to be just fine. When behind closed doors, they're all up there sitting there eating their caviar, or, well, in Biden's case, maybe, eating his ice cream. And they're sitting there and they're laughing because they know what they're doing. They know that they're going to turn around, and they're going to turn around and stab us all in the back. Now, for those of us that are prepared, and for those of us that have been preparing for years, and we have a decent stockpile of food, we have supplies, we know how to manage and cook and everything else. Even if they turn off our electricity, or if they turn off your natural gas and everything else, you know how to survive. You see, they're going to start doing things. All right. They just, what is it with this whole, with the monkey pox? No, there's another good one, right? All right. So now that is the, whoa, that's the bad one now. Oh, we got to watch out for the monkey pox. Give me a break, people. Really? I mean, I don't understand how people keep falling for all this crap, you know? Um, it's like one thing after another. It's like, okay, who's making this up? The WHO? Are they making this up? Is it the world leaders? Is it World Economic Forum? Is it Bill Gates? Who's making all this kind of crap up and pushing it out there? Because this is what they want to push in the media. They don't want to talk about anything that's really going on and how we can fix anything. And there are no solutions whatsoever, except for the ones that are just like way out there in left field. And you know what? That's not a solution. That's another problem. That's where we're standing at right now with everything that is taking place. And we need to figure out some way that we can take a stand and turn this around. There has to be some way before they take everything, all our rights and everything else away. You mean you have the Supreme Court that's just, they're looking to change a lot of things that's been on the books for quite a while. And I'm not going to go into all that and everything else, but I'm just telling you, when they come back in for their winter session, they already have a quote agenda that they want to take care of. And that's what they're going to go after. So you all might want to be prepared and ready if you're part of any of those mm, little laws that they want to overturn, if you get what I'm saying. Now, speaking of which, between the Democrats and the Republicans, it seems like neither side can come really together and agree on any type of settlement situation or anything else. One thing that they do agree on, we keep giving tons and billions of dollars in supplies to Ukraine, and we're over there, taking care of that. And I don't know if you all saw where Russia agreed to let Ukraine get some of the food out of there, get them out of the port, start feeding the world to take the burden off of, the whole world and all these countries that are starving to death supposedly, and the prices and everything else. If we can just get those ships to roll with the wheat and everything else on there. So Russia agreed to say, okay, well, we'll let you do that. They'd sign this agreement and everything else. And what did you do? Turn around and do? I mean, did nobody think or see the writing on the wall? They turn around and bomb everything over there around the port. They started dropping bombs when they said they weren't going to. So somebody believes somebody here. But I mean, look who you're dealing with. This is the thing, folks. I mean, all these leaders, you can't believe anything that they say from any of these countries. It doesn't matter. because they're going to turn around and they're going to do whatever they want to do nowadays. Some of them just need to have their rear ends kicked a few times and make them realize that, look, if you say you're going to do something, then you do it. Don't say you're going to do something, then turn around and do something totally different or retaliate against the people that are trying to do the jobs and get the food out of there and everything else. Because I'm sure there's some of these countries like Africa, parts of Asia, and everything else that probably really could use a lot of this wheat and the food supplies that come out of there. They also wanted to try getting and releasing fertilizer and trying to get that spread throughout the world and everything else to help with the lack of production because of the lack of fertilizer that is going to be taking place. You see, that's not our only problem here. Have you guys been watching what's been going on out with Lake Mead? All right. This thing is just running dry. Now, if you go on to the um, NOAA weather, and I think it's the website, I think it has it on there also. Um, there's video footage, it's time lapse, and they show you what it was in 2000, the lake levels up till now, and how much it's dropped, and it'll blow your mind. Go watch that. It's just incredible. Because you see, they predict within the next, if it stays as hot as it's been all across this country, here in Florida, we don't, it's hot for us. Okay. So most days, all right, I mean, it runs, we run between 94 and 96 degrees. And it feels like 105, maybe 110. But what saves us is we're surrounded by water. Whereas in other places, like this weekend, especially tomorrow, all the way up and down the East Coast and everything else, everybody's under heat advisories and everything else. It's supposed to be in the 90s all the way up into Maine. I mean, for them, that's just like unheard of. I mean, that's extreme heat because they're just not, they're made for the cold, not the heat. And if Lake Mead goes dry, we're in a world of hurt. We're already hurting out there because the farmers can't get water. They can't get the water to water their fields because they're putting restrictions on all the farmers on what they can do in water, but we'll let Las Vegas have all the water they need. You see, you got to follow the money, folks. The water follows the money down the river and it goes to Las Vegas. It's a big money maker. A lot of people like to go there. They like to go there. They like to gamble, party, and everything else and have a good time. Don't go to Lake Mead, though, if you want to go swimming, because pretty soon it's going to be all dried up. Look at all the bodies they've been finding out there and all the boats and everything else because the water levels are so low, you know, they just never thought that it would ever go that low. And it's only a matter of time with this whole, a lot of people have been really on with the heat is, it's all climate change, and all this kind of stuff. When in reality, I'm not going to say that some part of it could be caused by man. All right. But just follow me here for a second. All right. Just follow me for 1 second. I'm sure that through the Industrial Revolution, through the 1800s into the 1900s, we've been burning a lot of coal. We've done a lot of things. All right. But Mother Earth, she's really good at correcting herself and redeeming the soil, the air, cleaning itself out. Now, when Mount St. Helens erupted, and the scientists back then said it was take between 10 to 20 years before the air quality would be back to whatever the normal quality was for that period of time in history. When in actually, what happened was within 2 years, the air quality was back to the normal standards before the eruption. Think about it. Mother Earth, she's really big. She's bigger than we are. And she took and cleaned it all up. Now, everybody's blaming a lot of this heat and everything else on climate change. I think that what one of a few things that is taking place here. We all know that the poles have shifted. We've started a pole shift. All right. So your true nautical north, if you look at your compass and stuff, you're going to have to figure out exactly what the difference in degrees and stuff are so that you will actually go to the north because it has already started to move. Now, could this have something to do with the whole thing that's going on right now with all the weird weather, hot temperatures all around the globe? Could be. What about all these different sun flares that we've been having? Could this have affected the atmosphere, but we're just not being told anything? Could be. All right. Now, we've had 2 or 3 over the last 3 or 4 weeks that have hit the earth. They haven't been too bad. We had one the other day, they were putting it at a G2 or G3, and it could knock out like some of the satellites and disrupt like your GPS and those type of things. Um, but it wasn't supposed to be anything like a Carrington event or something like that. But who knows? Do you really think that they're going to tell us if something like that is going to hit us? I think if a scientist came out that works and studies the sun and everything else, and he saw something like what was going to take place during the Carrington event, I don't believe the government would allow them or allow him to put out the information stating that these is going to take place. Because let's face it, there's nothing they can do about it. So why cause mass panic? This is what the government's looking at. What the government's going to be trying to do is cover all their bases and take care of all their people and everybody that they want to make sure that is taken care of and move them to a safe point so that when the shit hits the fan, because if the whole electric grid goes completely out and everything is fried from your phone to, cameras and your car and everything else, people are going to freak out. I mean, it's because it's going to be massive chaos because the grid is so fragile now. It wouldn't take a lot to really do a lot of damage. And how long do you think it would take for them to build all this stuff back? You see, I think there's other things that are playing in the cards here, and we're not just being told everything. I don't think it's all man that is destroying this planet. I think there's other things that have happened or that are taking place as we speak, and that is contributing to the problem. Now, like I did say, before I get all the hateful comments and everything else, you know, man probably has or is at some point in time contributing to the climate. But I don't think they can blame everything on man. There's things that take place. Look at all the fires that are burning all around the world. Have you guys saw any of the fires? Like not just here in this country, all right? Yeah, we have fires and stuff burning here. Europe is like burning down. Have you guys even checked that out? And I was reading an article the other day where they believe that some of these fires have been intentionally set in certain areas. Now, I really don't follow a lot of the news over there, so I don't know what has taken place after I read that article. Um, but it makes you wonder, okay, well, what is taking place here? Why is, all this happening all of a sudden? There's I mean, there's thousands of fires burning over there. You guys can check it out. I mean, between the heat wave that they had, they broke an all-time record, you know. But if you have that many fires and stuff burning, don't you think that that's contributing to, poor air quality and, I mean, heat and everything else? I mean, if you see the amount of fires over there burning, you'll understand what I'm saying. So you have to go check that out for yourselves. But back to with this government here, they want to take total control. They don't want people like you and me. They don't want people to be prepped and ready. And they know we're out here. They know that there are a real select few of people, because you got to figure out of what 329 million people that live in this country, you know, what do you think? Maybe 20? I'll be generous. 25% are saying they're prepped, they're ready, and where else. So that leaves you 75% of the population that they can easily control. But it's that 25% that they're worried about. Because you see, if you're a prepper and you've been putting food away and everything else, that means you're a thinker. All right. Now you have to remember, you're going back more than likely. You were probably raised this way. You have been taught by your grandparents, by your parents, or whoever. Could be Uncle John down the road, whoever it may be, you know. But in a lot of areas, if you grew up in, say, smaller towns in rural areas compared to cities, not that they didn't prep back in the day and do the canning and all that. I'm not saying that, but your farmer and your people that lived in rural areas had to depend on whatever it is that they put in the ground and harvested, canned, and put up so that they had food to eat during the winter. Because more than likely, if it's a snowstorm, a blizzard, or whatever else, they didn't have a four-wheel drive pickup truck to jump in and run into town. It's either you walked or you took a horse and buggy, which you're probably not going to do. So you had to make sure that you could withstand being isolated for long periods of time, but you had to have food to eat in order to sustain yourself while you had to go through those harsh times in the winter. You had to have firewood, you had to have a way to cook. Most of the time, it was wood stoves. My That's what my grandparents had. I mean, obviously, over the years, once they got gas and everything else, the stove was converted from a wood burning stove. It was one of those big ones. I mean, thing was huge, but it was converted from a wood burning stove to a gas stove. But the point of it is, these people, they know we're out here, and they know that we know they're up to something. Now, we may not have all the answers, and depending on what, some of the YouTube channels out here, they got some pretty good ideas. I don't know how far I would go as far as believing some of these ideas, because some of them out there are really out there. And but I take those with a grain of salt. And what I suggest that a lot of people do is you do the same thing. Do your homework. That's what I do if I have time and I listen to another YouTube channel or something, and they're talking about something, and for some reason it just kind of like, I don't know about that. I mean, that's pretty deep, or that's pretty out there, and I'll start doing some checking on it and seeing what I can find out. You know, um, but that's how you have to do everything nowadays. It's like you have to be so um, careful on exactly not what you're saying, but what you're comprehending in your brain. You see, because there's so much BS out there, your brain has to decipher all this different kind of stuff, and then it has to turn around and try to figure out, okay, is this real? Is this not real? What's taking place here? And then you have to turn around and really think about Okay, well, how do I get around this problem? How do I solve this problem? What do I do to be prepared for this problem? Because if you all haven't noticed, every other day they're throwing something else at us. There's this or that, and this is going on, and the whole nine yards. So we have to constantly be thinking on our feet, and that's what makes you a good prepper, because you have to make sure that you can take the information in, process the information, then turn around and have a solution to the information. You see, this is where the government lacks. All right. They can take the information in, they process the information, and it goes blank. Whereas if you're a prepper, somebody with a good head on your shoulders, all right, you take the information in, you process it, you come up with a solution. It may take you a little while to think about it. But sometimes if you sit back and you really think about it, you think about it really hard, you're going to come up with a really good solution in your head. And that goes for any type of situation. It doesn't have to be like, the end of the world type situation here. If you got a problem going on in your life, if you got a problem that you have to deal with at work, if you got a problem with whatever, you process in the information, you think about it, and you're going to come up with a solution. Some way. You will come up with a solution. Our brains are a very intelligent thing, and it can do this, folks. It can handle doing all this sometimes in a matter of seconds. You heard something, process it, boom, boom. Now you got a solution, or you got to come back. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's how fast a lot of our brains think. It's quite amazing. Now, there's something else that we all have to really start thinking about too. And I believe the next part of this is they're going to be going after seed vaults. And I would highly suggest to all people out there, if you are a prepper, if you're new to prepping, start looking into buying either seed vaults, seeds that have been put up. They're in Mylar bags. They're already been sealed and everything else. And you need to be putting away seeds for a rainy day. Because if they're already starting to go after the way we can store the food, how long is it before they start going after how we grow the food that we want to store? You see, they want to get it down to where this is what they want. This is how they want it. And this is how it's going to be. They will be a select few of people, like I did say. And I was generous in my numbers. Yes, I do know and am aware that ever since Charlie Victor 19 came to town, there are a lot more preppers out there than what we did have prior to March of 2020 here in the United States. Now, I can't speak for other countries because I don't know. But there's a lot of people that were caught with their pants down, couldn't feed their families, couldn't find anything on the shelves. And that changed a lot of people. You see, some people do learn from their mistakes. And I get a lot of people all the time that comment and everything else on my channel. And they always leave these comments and they're just like, well, if people haven't started prepping, then screw them, they're on their own. And I get that. I truly do. I understand where you are coming from. But you see, you have these people that truly do believe that the good old government, the state governments, local governments, Washington, D.C., they're all going to be there. They're all going to make sure that they're taken care of if something majorly happens. And it's not going to happen that way. And a lot of people are starting to wake up to that fact. A lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact that it is in their best interest to make sure that they are prepped and ready. Now, when you are prepped and ready, depending on where you live in this world, you have different scenarios you have to make sure that you're prepped and ready for, correct? And what you have to do is you have to sit back and you really have to think about what it is that you have to survive in the area that you are in. And how do you meet those requirements? And how are you going to afford to do that? And how are you going to be able to survive with you and your family? What is it you have to do? That's why making a plan is so number one. Having a plan in any type of a situation, depending on where you live, doesn't matter if you live here, if you live in Australia, if you live in Europe, if you live in Canada, Mexico, it doesn't matter where you live. We all have different things that we have to make sure that we kind of are prepared for. Like here in Florida, well, obviously, folks, it's hurricanes. But let's say you go to Wisconsin, it's blizzards, extreme cold. You go out to Dakotas, high winds, massive sub-zero weather. So that means you have your vehicle has to be taken care of in a totally different way, correct? Than what I have to do down here. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter where you live, you have to plan and have a action plan put in place on how you survive your own little elements of life. Because, like I said, it's different wherever you are. The plan is still basically the same. There is a basic plan that goes no matter wherever you live. You have to have first water. Water is the number one thing that you have to make sure that you can either store, you can gather, you can purify, and you can make it so that it is drinkable so that you can survive. You can survive a lot longer without food than you can without water. Your body will shut down if you do not have water. Second is food. All right. So, all different types of food from your dry goods, canned goods, whatever. Food is number two. That's the two pieces of the pie. Then you have to move into all the other things that you're going to need. And this is where it's going to come into play on where you live and how you have to plan. You may want to make sure you have a really good first aid kit. I would highly suggest that you do have a decent first aid kit and try to build a better first aid kit for down the road. Because you see, folks, this is what is going to happen. If something majorly goes down, the ambulances and stuff aren't going to be able to roll out to thousands of people if they need help. And what happens if one of those people could be your wife, your husband, your kids, your parents, your grandparents? If you have basic knowledge on first aid, and you can read about it, you can buy books on it. Basic knowledge. I'm not saying here, hey, you need to be an RN, an EMT, whatever. Basic knowledge of first aid will get you a long ways. All right. Now, obviously, you're not going to be doing blunt surgery out there. You're not going to be taking out somebody's kidney or something like that. But if somebody breaks an arm, breaks a leg, got a severe cut, in your first aid kits, you can have ways to, well, mend them up a little bit and try to um, do the best you can until you can get them to the proper authorities if that's possible. You know, I mean, there's ways you can stop bleeding. There's ways that you can make slings. There's ways that you can make things to carry people if you're not in your home or something. With using either sticks, you could use fence posts. There's different ways. You have to be able to get creative. Basic knowledge of first aid is going to go a long ways in an SHTF situation or any type of a natural disaster type situation that could be at any point in time. Something else that you want to make sure that you do have. And this would pertain to exactly what area of this world you live in and what you are dealing with. And that is your bug out bag. Because in your bug out bag, it's going to be a lot different, mine down here in Florida, to somebody in Canada, Dakotas, Alaska, or wherever else. It's going to be totally different, folks, because you have to plan on the area you're in. Now, where it gets tricky with your bug out bag is if you have to leave your home, because let's face it, I mean, more than likely, 98% of people, if the shit hits the fan, you're going to be staying put in your home because a lot of people, one, probably aren't able to travel long distances or walk long distances. So, for the other 2%, if you have plans and you're going to be going to another area, maybe another state, and everything else, because you have family there, maybe you have a cabin, maybe you have, land, whatever it may be. Your bug out bag has to be very diverse in what you have in it. For the simple fact is, you may be going from a warmer to a colder climate, or from a cold climate to a warmer climate, and you have to have things to adjust. You wouldn't want to come down here and be wearing wool socks and a wool shirt and a coat. Same way I wouldn't want to be going up there wearing sandals, shorts, and a t-shirt, and it's 30 below zero outside. You're not going to last too long. You see what I'm saying? So you kind of have to have these balances, but it's all based on your area. And for the maybe the 2% of people that are going to be leaving their areas and taking off and going somewhere else, well, then, I mean, those are what's going to take place. But the key here is the government is really coming down hard, and they're getting these corporations in their back pocket, and they want to make sure that they can take and they can destroy us as much as they can and put us down and put a stop to what we do and how we prepare and things we need to do some of these different ideas of prepping. You see, they're catching on, folks. And now they're realizing that there's a lot more of us than what they originally thought. And they see the writing on the wall. I'm sure they're out there watching videos like mine and, Alaskan Prepper and Canadian Prepper and, um, survival living and all these different channels on how to prepare, what to do, how to survive, all these different things. Making sure that you people out there understand, and making sure that you people out there that are watching, have the knowledge so that you can be prepared for you and your family. Because that's the whole name of the game. I don't care what prepping channel you watch, what YouTube channel you watch, or anything else. In the end, whether you agree with whatever is being said by the creator on any of the channels, me included, whether you agree or not, this one thing stands out for all of us. And basically, what we're doing is we want to try to make sure that you, the watcher, you out there that are watching right now, that you and your family can survive any type of natural disaster, SHTF, EMP, that you can survive and everything will be fine. That is our one main goal as creators. We bring you the information so that you can process the information, realize that, hey, maybe I don't agree with everything that this guy talks about or this woman talks about, because there's a lot of lady preppers out there too. Let me tell you what. All right. but maybe I don't agree with everything that they say. But I like the way that I like the way that they talk about this or the way they do this. I like some of their ideas. You see, that's the thing. You can take a little bit from this creator and you can take a little bit from that creator, and then you can start putting them together. And as long as you come out prepared, that's all that matters. You see, that's all that matters, folks, is that you come out prepared and ahead of the game. Because trust me, the government is not going to be there to give you a handout and to make sure that you're going to be fine if the whole system goes down. They couldn't even handle Katrina. You think they're going to handle the whole United States? Think again, folks. Think again. So, in ending here, a few things. We're going to recap real quick. You need to start buying seeds. Mylar bags, you have till August 5th to buy them on Amazon. Now, I've been trying to do some research. I believe that there's still going to be some companies that are selling these, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So I haven't been able to figure out if some of these companies, not Amazon, some of these other companies that actually make them, if they're still going to be selling them after August 5th or not. August 5th is a cutoff date on Amazon. They are still running a few of these on sale. All right. I have noticed that a lot of the sales have gone away and they are back to full price and everything else. But you have to ask yourself, do I need to put up more stuff? Do I have enough Mylar bags in my home right now? I went on and bought a whole shit ton because I'm just going to put them away because you never know if you're going to need them down the road. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because we really need those type of Mylar bags. The thicker, the better. I've got some I ordered. I got them on sale. It was a whole kit. It was like $40 on sale, but they're 10 mil. I mean, they're real thick. That's what you're looking for. The larger the number on the mill, the better off the bags are. So, yeah, sometimes you might pay a little bit more, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. You want to make sure that you are staying up on what is taking place around your area that you live in, wherever you are in this world, because I have people that are watched from all over the place. It's pretty wild when you go into the analytics and you see where people have viewed your content from. And it's just like, wow. So you have to make sure that you are preparing for around your area that you are living in, wherever you are in this world. You want to make sure that you do have a plan. You want to make sure that you have water, some type of water. Either it's going to be you have a water source you can go to, you have a way to purify water, you have a way to store water, wherever it may be, water is the key. You got to have food, all right, dry goods, canned goods, all those type of different things, like we were talking about. You also want to make sure that you do have first aid kits. You want to make sure you have a good first aid kit. You may want to buy a book also on first aid, the basic knowledge of first aid. That's all you need. That's all you need. Then you want to turn around. You want to make sure that with your bug out bag or anything where if you had to leave your home and that's the one bag you grab, it has things in it that's going to pertain to your area so that you are prepared. And I would highly suggest, even if you have kids, all right, everybody in the family has their own bag. This way, here you can pack individual things in there. Like if you have kids and stuff, you could put their favorite, a stuffed animal or something in there, or a Barbie doll, or cars, or small things that you could put in there that could make a kid feel really good in a bad situation. It doesn't take much, but just something to put in there. And it also makes them feel like they're helping out and that they're participating and that they're part of something. You see, kids aren't dumb, folks, because they're really smart. They can pick up when, things aren't going good. They get a pretty good idea. They might not understand what's going on, but they understand, hey, give me a chance to help. And it makes them and it helps them learn. That's a problem with a lot of the generation nowadays is everything's handed to them. Oh, Johnny, here you go. You need that pencil. Yeah, don't, here you go. Don't worry about it. You know? Whereas in back in the day, it'd be like, oh, you need a new pencil? All right, well, you got to take the trash out. You take the trash out, empty the trash. You might want to cut the grass and stuff, and we'll go get you some school supplies. You work for it. Stuff just wasn't handed to you. You know what I'm saying? Just how it was. It's how you were taught. I mean, things weren't handed to you on a silver platter back in the day. You worked for what you wanted. It was always a give and take. Not like today. Today's everything's handed to everybody on a silver platter, and then they expect that as they grow up. They think that these companies and corporations and businesses and all this kind of stuff, they owe them something. They want to make more money than they're actually worth just because they think that they deserve it. Whereas you know what? It's called you start at the bottom and you work your way up. You don't start at the top and work your way down. It doesn't work that way. You go from the bottom and you work your way up. You have to climb the ladder in order to get to reap the best quality life that you can, and to ensure that, once again, everything will be fine. And in the end, folks, it's all worth it. But we just have to make sure that we're paying attention, because they're starting off with these Mylar bags, and I got a funny feeling they're going to be going after a bunch of other stuff coming down the road. And they're going to come up with some BS excuse, folks. Don't fall for it. And it's going to be right there. So let's move on over. I'm going to look at some comments and stuff and see who's all here. We have to announce our winner of the giveaway from the video on Friday. Everybody that did enter in or comment and everything into that did get entered into the drawing for that. Because I tried something different. It didn't really work out that well with the whole shorts thing and this. And so I won't be doing that again. Don't worry about that. Everything will be right in the video. You'll know exactly what to do and be the end of it. And once again, we did hit 50,000 subscribers today for all you people that jumped in late, because I see there's almost 700 people in here right now. So we did hit 50,000. I really want to thank everybody that has contributed to this channel. I would like to thank everybody that has liked the channel, subscribed, that's been sharing the videos and commenting like crazy on all these videos. I am so sorry, but I can only keep up with so much and do so much between working all week long and then turn around and I try to make content and everything on the weekends. I have my live stream on Saturday night. Then I try to have some type of a life right now. It's a big juggling act, if you get what I'm saying, but I really do appreciate every single person out there and what you do for this channel. So if you have a question, comment, or anything else, throw it out there. Put it in all caps and I'll see if I can find it. Now, let's see here. I got a super chat from Bob R. Hey, Bob, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. You don't have to do that, but it does help the channel out. I really do appreciate that. I see my moderators are here. Coffee First and Speak and Jan. There's Jan. JT's in here. Sunset, Tennessee Gal. All right. Let me scroll on down through here. Jeff, is the clear Mylar still being sold? Yes, the clear Mylar bags will keep being sold. That's what they want. They want clear, or they want these colored things. All right. So what it is they don't want the silver bags. So they got to be clear or colored, which for storing food, unless you can store it in a dark area. And at this point, that's probably what we're going to have to do is, it's the only way you're going to be able to do that, because they're not going to be able to sell in the silver ones anymore. Bob R, it's well worth it to keep him on. Hippie's Hive. I've never seen anyone use Mylar for that. Yeah, I agree. I'm telling you. I mean, it just something isn't making sense here, folks. I mean, it's just, I don't know. CMDR. The druggies send their stuff wrapped in duct tape and trash bags. Exactly. Ziploc bags seal and the smell too. Yep. I mean, I get it, folks. I'm all on your side. Sandra, never seen Mylar arrested, but just heard about it. Yes. Well, it's coming. Let's see here. Let me scroll on down through. Like I said, if you got a question or anything like that, make sure you put it in all caps and I'll try to get to it. Hippies Hive. Arkansas is making a killing off of medical marijuana. Yes, they are. I mean, a lot of these states that have gone and they've turned around and they've legalized it. They're making all kinds of money. And why the government doesn't want in on it? Well, I'll tell you why the government doesn't want in on this, because the government is making a lot more money from the pharmaceutical companies, because if they really read the studies and stuff on what marijuana can actually really do and treat the human body, because it is a natural resource going into a natural body. All right. Um, it put the pharmaceutical companies out of business, and well, the government doesn't want that. David, weed is best kept in glass jars. Yes, I have been told that. Okay, Paul, from what I heard is the color bags not the ones we use. No, it's the ones we use. Um the the ones that are going to be still allowed on Amazon to be sold after August 5th will be the clear and the colored bags. The solid silver bags will no longer be allowed to be sold, especially the thicker mill, because they say it blocks out the smell and all this kind of stuff. RCX, seeds and gardens are next. They will be less seeds available and gardens will be regulated. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I do agree. Leah, I agree. London girl, hey, how you doing? Hopefully it's cooled off over there a little bit for you. Scroll on down through. Chadville, IRS sucks too. They just spent 750,000 in ammo in June 2022, but still have not processed my return. Yeah. Kit Carlson's here. Copycat. How are you? Nancy Tarp. Pitbull. Let's see how long the low prices last. Yeah, that's what's got me worried too. Country Humans Grease Fan. 389 gas and L. Is that? Oh, La Crosse. I'm sorry. Wisconsin. It broke it up there. At first, I thought it was LA. And then I put it all together. Bear with me. It's been a very long day. Then the Carter, hi all, family made it live. Well, it's nice to see you, Linda. I'm glad you made it live. I really, Grizz. Hey, how you doing, Grizz? Post office new $300 of my heirloom seeds by X-ray in it. Oh, yeah. That's a bad thing. That is a very bad thing. Not falling for it, mama. Yep, it's just a slow warm up. I would have to say I agree. Stuart's prepping. How you doing, Stuart? Hope you're doing well out there. Jeff, still using oil no matter what you cut out. It's not about that. It's about control. Yes. Carol Ann, Old Soul in Jacksonville today, $3.95 a gallon. Ah, nice. Anything below that $4 right now, folks. I mean, come on, you know. Joyce Everson, 348 in Ohio. Scroll down through. Jan says she'll be right back. Not a problem, Jan. Whoa, we just did a huge jump. All right, let me start from down here. Princess Warrior, you rock from Nasty Nashville here. It's blue, finally. Learned to can this year, did a variety of meats. I live in an apartment, wish I had lots of veggies. Connect the dots. I started seriously prepping 2 years ago. I think I'm setting pretty good. Yes. 2 years ago, that really changed a lot of people. Think about it, folks. I mean, that's saw the writing on the wall. I still remember the quick little video I did was, and I did it like at 5:30 in the morning. I got up, I put the news and stuff on, and I grabbed my coffee. I'm an early riser, so 5:30 is early, not early for me, but early for most people. And I saw what was going on, and I could just, when it's one of those things where you get that gut feeling. Now, I don't know if a lot of you are like me, but I was always raised, you go with the gut feeling. Never doubt your gut feeling because it'll get you in trouble. And I put a video out that day, and I said, you people better get out there and get prepared now, because this thing's going to be ugly and it's going to be here soon. And sure enough, a few weeks later, all hell broke loose. Sandra Book, my kids were just in Punta Gorda, Florida, visiting family, old stomping ground. There you go. Oh, thing keeps jumping on me here. Sorry, folks. Thanks. See Grace, thanks for sharing with all of us. Great advice. That's what I try to do. I try to bring you some, even if I bring bad news in a video or something else, I'm always going to give you what you can do to make sure that you are being prepped and being ready, and make sure that you are, or you have a way in order for you and your family to survive. I mean, that's the whole name of the game here, folks. I mean, that's why we're preppers. That's why we're in this community, in this channel, and everything else. And that's why we've hit 50,000 subscribers, because people are wanting to learn, and people are wanting to know and gain the knowledge. Because, be perfectly honest with you, I think a lot of people out there are seeing the writing on the wall, and it's scaring the shit out of them. It really is, folks. It really is. It's really terrifying a lot of people when they sit back and they think about how they're going to be putting a roof over their head, food on the table, gas in their car so they can try to go to work, so they can make some money, not enough to cover for all the bills and everything else. The high inflation rate. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's coming up here this week. Feds are going to be raising the rate. It's probably going to go up a whole point. And then from what I read this morning, in a couple of different articles, they're already talking 3/4 of a point in September. So hold on, folks. You need to make sure you got your boots on, because it's getting deep. All right, let's get over here. We've been running an hour now. Let's see here. Now, the winner of this week is, drum roll. All right. Hippie's Hive is the winner. And I know that she is in here because I just saw her in here also. And her comment on power outages, are you prepared, was cooking. I think is the easiest thing to tackle in a power outage. Having heat is planned for, as I have a Mr. Heater buddy. It's trying to stay cool that's most concerned. With as hot as it has been, that part I haven't quite figured out yet. And the funny thing is she had no idea what she was winning, because I didn't announce what everybody was winning. And what you are winning is a emergency hurricane camping, this whole type. It's an 8-inch rechargeable fan that is, it comes with the attachments. You can put it in a tent, you can put it in a vehicle, in a van, you can put it on a table. It's portable, it's USB. It comes with a light and the whole 9 yards. It's really cool. And that is what you are winning, Hippies Hide. So congratulations to you. Hopefully this will help try to keep you a little bit cool and give you a little bit of, um, you know, a brief. If you do lose power, if you do lose power, those little portable battery fans are a godsend. Trust me. We have hurricanes down here. We've had to use them. They're a godsend. It may only be this big around, it's not a big box fan or a ceiling fan, but let me tell you what, just to move the air is an incredible feeling when it is really hot and you have no power. So Hippies Hive, all you have to do is email me your address at survivalpreparedness69.com or gmail.com. It's in the description below. Just email me that and I will get your winnings sent out to you via of Amazon. And this way here, I can track it and make sure that it is delivered. But I'd like to thank everybody for everything that you do. We will be having another giveaway next weekend. It will be announced in Friday's video, folks. That's all you have to do is watch the video. It will tell you what to do, how to enter, so that maybe you could be a winner like Hippies Hive and so many others that have won. And I really appreciate how everybody has started making sure that they email me their information because you won. I want to make sure you get your winnings, but I can only get it if you email me your address because my crystal ball is broke. So I don't know where you live unless you send me the information so I can send you the goodies. Get it? Maybe I should throw Amazon off and just put everything in a big old Mylar bag and send it. Probably have red alarms going off everywhere. I'd probably have the FBI at the front door if I did that. I put it in a big box. Wouldn't that be funny? Wife probably wouldn't like it too much, but I'd be laughing all the way to the bank. I'd be like, this is great. Hey, can I videotape this, Mr. FBI agent? But all right, folks, we're running a little long here. I would just like just to thank everybody for everything that you've been doing. I think I saw somebody pop in here. Yes, right there. There you are, Southern Boy Prepper. Hey, how you doing there, buddy? I hope you're doing well. And it's good to see you in here. Thank you for showing up. But everybody just needs to take a chill pill. Prepping isn't hard. Prepping isn't like this big scientific thing that you have to really think about. What you have to think about is your family, what you need, your food, your water, medical, supplies in case you have to leave your home, and always have a plan. And your plan always has to consist of a part A plan, part B plan, and you always want to make sure you have a part C plan just on the chance that A and B don't work out too well. Always have something to fall back on. Always try to make sure that you are ready. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody out there for everything that you've done for this channel. As I have stated previously earlier, we have hit 50,000 subscribers as of today. That's because of you. Without you out there, we would never even existed. But we have built this great community thanks to all you people out there. Thanks to every one of you who have been here, who have been commenting, who help people out. That's what it's all about. You see, we got to get back to the basics in this world, in this country, because there's too much hate, there's too much um, grief, there's too much anger and everything else. And if people would just take a chill bill and just kind of like step back for a second and think about the situation, it's a lot easier to help somebody out and smile than it is to frown and want to hurt other people. What was the saying? Takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. Think about it. If we all just kind of helped each other out, now I'm not saying you have to get along with everybody. I understand that there's those issues. But just to make a little bit of difference in this world, in this chaotic world that we're living in, goes a long ways. And it helps you out. It's good for the soul, folks. It's good for the soul. It's good for the mind, too. And if you need to clear your mind, I would highly suggest take a walk. Find some place, go for a walk. Just clear your mind. Turn off your phone if you can do it. Turn off your phone. No music, no nothing. Just take a walk and let your mind think. So, once again, I'd like to thank all my moderators, JT, Jan, Coffee First and Speak. I'd like to thank everybody for everything that you've done for this channel. I'd like to thank Hippies High for commenting on the video and for winning. And as soon as I get your email address, well, as soon as you email me your address through email, I'll get it out one way or the other. Sorry, folks. Like I said, it's been a long day. I will get you your winnings. But till then, till next Saturday night at 8 p.m. Don't forget, on Friday, you're going to be entering in to win another golden prize. And maybe it might be 2 people. I don't know. You'll have to watch the video and find out, because I'll tell you in the video. How's that? All right, folks. You all stay safe. You all keep prepping. And remember, I'll catch you on the flip side.